I'm incredibly insecure. Like I just went to a screening of a film I was in, and everyone immediately afterwards, the director, producers, how was it? I was like, I hated it. Like, and it's my face I don't like. I don't like
I've
me.
seen you talk about this before.
Yeah,
what is this?
I have like a form of body dysmorphia, I think, and I think that may have stemmed from my being a teenager and hitting puberty late and not feeling like I was good looking or too short or not strong enough. I mean, I remember a PE class specifically where I couldn't do a pull-up, and everyone else in my year was doing pull-ups, and I just felt incredibly embarrassed. So I think it sort of stemmed from that, but also being in the industry that I'm in, and being, especially now, the entire world has the opportunity to have their opinion. I think, yeah, it really affects you. And a lot of the roles I played earlier on in my career, I had like a topless scene in one of my first movies, but wasn't told, it wasn't in the script. And I got told like a week before they were going to take my top off. And I was like, shit, I haven't been working out. Like, what am I going to do? This is like my first introduction to the world.
Yeah.
I think it's. I've been massively affected by it, and I think I'd say most guys are that I've spoken to anyway, in some degree. But mine got quite bad. Yeah.
In what way? Like, how does that manifest then? That you're talking shit about yourself in your head, or you're pushing yourself to work out further? How does that turn out?
Yeah, I think for me, I really overthink everything. So. I will skip meals. I don't eat breakfast. I have like a juice in the morning, and I work out doubly hard if I've had a bad meal the night before, and I try not to drink as much alcohol anymore. I try to get as much sleep, but it's because I'm overthinking. I don't do that so much.
Yeah.
It's a real struggle. It's like an everyday struggle. And again, I think that's part and parcel of being like an actor with the sort of career that I had specifically, being, and also being massively affected by what other people think. Like the people pleasing thing seeps back in.
Yeah.
You just immediately, it bothers me that people might not like me or might not think, think I'm a nice person or whatever it is, or might not look good or. So it's been, and again, I'm sort of in the process of working through that, and being aware of it, trying to embrace it, but it's a challenge.
It is hard, well, especially with the job that you have, because whatever you're working on, it's all eyes on you at the end of it, and you want to feel, proud of what you've done, and you want to, have your own back in a situation like that where everyone's got opinion about you. I'm not particularly good, even with what I do, if people were giving me shit about something that I initially thought, oh no, I stand by this, I believe in this. It can, sway my mind somewhat. And I don't like that. With the mental mindset that you find yourself in, with whether it is not eating breakfast, working out doubly hard, not eating whatever you want when you fancy it, do you want that to change, or are you like, this is just how it has to be at the moment?
I've always praised my discipline. Like, I think it's something I inherited from a very early age, that me and my brother, we're from a working class family. Me and my brothers have all been working since we were like 13 years old as paper boys. And, I've just never known not to work. So I feel like even if I'm not filming something, on a day, I'm still working. Like it's part of my job, and I don't mind it. Like, I'm not miserable by any means. I'm very happy, and especially now, I think as I've kind of got older, and I'm sort of like, people try to wind me up that I'm nearly 40. And I don't care. Like, I think, well, it's a good thing. Like,
40s are great, by the way.
I feel more healthy and happy now than I did through my 20s and my 30s. The majority of my 30s. I feel like I know better who I am, and now I'm a dad. I like embrace that role with all of me. And I think I was born to be a nurturer, like to look after people and to make sure other people are okay, and to be a host. And so having kids is sort of giving me my life's purpose, I feel. And I'd love to have more. I'd love to, just sort of spread that love, because I think that's what I was made for. That's what I believe. And I think I believed that when I was a kid. So the acting is great. I love the acting. I love my job. I love what I do. But I also just love being a dad and a parent, and being able to sort of go through this process as a parent. And my kids are like 10 and 8 now, and being able to kind of share what I'm learning currently with them, and then having them talk to me about their fears and about their insecurities. I'm like, wow. And now I know how to deal with that, rather than saying we don't talk about we don't talk about our emotions. We shy. It's a real blessing. And I feel like, I know I speak on behalf of most men across the world, actually, in my generation, that were taught that to be a man, you don't cry, you don't speak about your emotions or say I love you or I'm proud of you. And I think that affected me more than I had hoped, maybe. And I have 2 very loving parents, very supportive parents. But I think for me, I am very sensitive, and I can see my little boy, for example, is very sensitive, and having that dialogue with him is really life-changing.
Yeah, it is interesting, because I think, throwing no shade on that generation, my parents, your parents, it wasn't necessarily the done thing to sit and talk about how you're feeling or your emotions and what you're going through. It was like you just crack on with things. And a lot of the time, I'm from a working class family. My parents were both out of work, and there wasn't time to have those sorts of deep chats and discuss how you were coping with certain situations. How do you approach things with your kids now? Because, my kids are 10 and 13, and so I'm sort of like looking at some very tricky conversations to be having. And, my son who's 13, it's like, am I having the consent chat now? Like we're the first generation going, wow. When are we having these chats? And sometimes I feel ill-equipped, or I'm not quite sure how to approach these sorts of subjects. It's a tricky one.
Well, it's really tricky, especially because of the access that kids have to the internet now that we didn't really have. No. Our generation was almost the last generation without the internet. I was like 15, 16, so in my the deep into my teens when MSN Messenger came up and chat rooms, but we didn't really understand the sort of dangers of the internet.
It's the Wild West still.
It is. I've taken a massive step back on social media. You've
deleted your Instagram.
Yeah, I have.
I went on because as part of my thorough research, Claflin, I like to look on YouTube, and then I'll read some articles, and then we'll get to Vanished in a minute. I've watched 3 episodes, fucking loved it. But I'll do a whole deep dive. So I was like, let's see what you've been up to on Instagram. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I think I just hit a point. It was about summer of last year, and I felt where I started sort of slowly deleting posts that I'd posted in 2016. It's like still having your MySpace page up in many ways. It's like, well, I'm not the same person I was when I first joined Instagram. So like, why is that? Why should that be available? These images of me like cooking. I think my first picture was a picture of a chicken and asparagus.
That's very early Instagram
it's just like, well, this is what I did today.
Avocado on toast.
I don't know why people need access to this. And so then I sort of peeled back and sort of left like 15 photos, more recent photos. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm going to just start the new year and start fresh. And I was like, well, I'll post when I want to post something, but I don't feel compelled to yet. And it's also made me stop going on Instagram full stop and just doom scrolling. And again, I don't want my kids to be watching me on my iPhone all the time. And so I've just started veering off and trying to be more present, I think. I never got into TikTok. That was never really my...
I think we're too old.
Yeah, I feel like
it's not for me.
I feel like the Instagram is the same as TikTok.
Instagram, I feel like I can handle, I can cope with it.
I don't
TikTok,
know.
I opened it once and I was just like, what's going on? What's these videos are just coming at me. I couldn't control it. I've never had TikTok. Again, if that's your thing, zero judgment from me. Couldn't give a toss. But Instagram, I feel I can go with. But I hear you, because I think it's the ultimate distraction. And also, I think in a job like ours, where you can go and quickly get a dopamine hit of validation from people liking a project you're working on, you know, you can do that in a harmless kind of, I'm just checking things out way. But I've certainly found myself like looking for the bad comments. Who's the one person who hates this episode or whatever? You know, it's not a great habit.
But again, I think that is it for me. I think in this past year, I've done a lot of soul searching, and what I've come to realize about myself is that I always was seeking reassurance from other people. I wanted to be loved. So, you know, I was seeking it in the wrong places, rather than looking in the mirror and going, hey man, you're loved, it's okay. Or looking at my kids and saying, you know, I'm loved. That's enough. I don't know what Bianca from, I'm immediately thinking Bianca for Patsy Palmer. But I don't know. It doesn't matter what someone from across the world who I've never met thinks about me, because I feel bad about myself. So it was more about not seeking that kind of reassurance and that attention and that love from external places, and trying to rectify my relationship with myself.
Trying to like yourself.
Yeah.
Very tricky.